Welcome to the Old Angela Park. The park operated from 1957 through 1988, and its proximity to the Pocono Mountains made it a popular summer attraction in northeastern Pennsylvania for 30 years. After the 1988 season, the owner filed for bankruptcy. In 1990, the rides and equipment were auctioned off. During the late 90s, many of the buildings were demolished. Many people drive past and have no idea what once stood in this location. Today we're going to walk the grounds, see what's left behind, and give you a history of the park. Let's begin. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. So anyway, we are here in Pennsylvania. Funny enough, so no one would know this, but my parents live 2 minutes down the road that way from this park. And it's kind of funny. I mean, people from all over the state, all over the northeast, east coast of the United States have come here in the past to go to Angela Park. And my first memory of this was when we moved to Drums, PA when I was 5 years old, driving on this highway right here, if you could see. And I remember seeing these lampposts there. And that's like my first memory of 5-year-old me driving in this park. And it's funny because both my parents grew up going here, and they would always say, "Oh, you would have loved Angela Park when we were younger," and this and that. And this is all I've ever known it to be. Now, as I got older, I would fish. There's a creek that goes back there. I would fish this, but man, I have not been here or walked these grounds in a long time. So there's going to be a lot to this video. I'm going to throw in some clips, some photos, whatever I can find on the internet of Angela Park back in the day, and we'll show you what is going on here today. So without further ado, let's go. Well, there's the main entrance, and like I said, I'm just going to be throwing in photos and videos as we go along here. Main entrance today versus what it would have looked like back in the day. I'm pretty sure they had a ski lift that went from behind me straight across and out that way. But from photos and stuff I've seen, a ton of the rides would have been all right here. This is probably a parking lot, to be honest with you, but we're gonna keep going, see what else we can find. During the 1950s, planning and construction took place during 1955 and 1956, and by the spring of 1957, Angela Park was ready to open. Angela Park opened on Mother's Day, May 12, 1957, to a large and enthusiastic crowd. The first year, the park had only 6 rides, 4 which were designed exclusively for younger children: the tank ride, boat ride, carousel, and airplanes. The other was the miniature train. For the 1958 season, 2 additional rides were added: the Panther car ride and the Dodge and Bumper car ride. I do wish my mom was with me today. She could have came, but she had other stuff to do. But I would have liked to kind of get with her and see if she remembered where things were back in the day. But either way, I'm sure she'll still enjoy this video. Hi, Mom. It's probably pretty hard to tell today what used to be what. There are certain things I know. I believe the roller coaster used to be straight ahead. There's the pool over this way that we'll go check out. The softball field, mini golf course used to be back this way. We could probably still find some train tracks. The train that used to go through the woods. My mom would always talk about that. But other than that, it's kind of hard to know and see where things were. Here you can kind of tell there's something around. Maybe it was a carousel, or they had I think there was all the rides here though. This would have been all the rides next to the road. Could have been a carousel. There was a little airplane boat ride that went around. I'm sure we're gonna find a lot of these today. Here's another one. Looks like a circular thing that would have had a ride right in the middle. In the 1960s, 2 major activity-oriented attractions were added: a miniature golf course and a baseball batting range. In In 1969, perhaps the most iconic piece of Angela Park was introduced, Porky the Paper Eater. Designed as a high-tech trash receptacle, Porky's head stuck out from his house. His mouth was an opening that vacuumed in paper and other small trash items into a large garbage container within the house. A taped voice message had Porky encouraging kids not to litter. So I'm pretty sure they had one big roller coaster. I mean, the majority of the park was for younger kids, teens, but they did have one big roller coaster. I think the roller coaster, based off photos and research I've seen, would have been right over here. I'll have to go check out the softball field soon, but I guess there was a basketball court there back in the day. But I want to go check out the pool without getting eaten by snakes or anything. Now, like I said, both of my parents grew up 10 minutes from this park, and my grandparents on both sides would take them and their brothers and sisters to Angela Park younger. And like I said, my parents still to this day live 5 minutes down the road, so I would have loved to come here as a kid. Unfortunately, by the time I was born and that, the park was sold, well, it went bankrupt and it was pretty much no more. And when I got to be older, this is all I knew of Angela Park. All right, we're going to do this together. Nicole, just watch so you don't get any ticks on you or anything too. All right. Now, I remember even when I was a teenager and I would come here, they even had the fence still up. There was a fence that went down this way. They had the lifeguard's chair that was still over this way. That's no longer here. Actually, you know what? The fence, the fence is still here. Look at this. The fence is still here, and it has like the barbed wire at the top. So I guess it used to block all this off, but now look at no more fence. You just walk on. Yeah, this would have been the pool area. Man, now they had an Olympic size pool that what you're looking at right now, right here, this would have been the pool, and they just filled it all in, and you would never even know. So let's go walk in the pool. All right, we're gonna take a step. We're in the pool at Angela Park. This is pretty crazy. I've never done this. For the times I was here growing up, I've never actually come over to the pool. But man, back in the day, people would have been swimming all over here. And now nature has taken over and you would never know. But let's look at the wall. Man. This was the wall of the swimming pool. Wow. This is pretty crazy. Think about it. Back in the day, I would be swimming in the pool right here. And the side of the pool, the pool house, probably people were getting changed in there. We'll have to go check that out. Lifeguards would have been out there. The pool goes straight ahead this way and over that way. And I'm assuming right over here, they would have had people like the lounging chairs and this and that. So let's go take a look over that way. Since this was an Olympic sized pool, kind of go along the outside rim of the pool here. Wow, so yeah, this would have been all filled with water. Look at it now. It's crazy. And you could see where the outlining of the pool. So it went down that way, stops right there, then it curves into here and goes straight ahead. Say hi, Nicole. I was just asking, how'd you get in there? But there's an opening around the back, so let's go check that out. This is crazy. You know, when I was in high school, we actually took a field trip here. I remember my biology teacher brought us here, and I don't know why, but maybe it was just something to do. But we, yeah, I remember she took us, we just walked around, and I guess she told us, you know, what Angela Park was like back in the day. This is kind of funny. The gate, and I'm assuming there was a lock on the gate at some point, but it looks like somebody cut that out there. So that's kind of funny. Why is there graffiti just everywhere all the time? Wow, these must have been the old pool pumps. Wow, that is something.
I bet this place is like the Stranger Things pool.
Yeah.
Like how they had the pool deck and everything. I bet it was similar to that.
Yeah, I would think. Let's see what's down here. That's just a deep drop. And here's the little pool house. Is it a light switch? Wow. This must, I wonder, I'm sure this was like a shower, because there's like that shelf over there. Probably.
Almost more looks like a control room.
Or yeah, equipment room, control room maybe. Oh yeah, probably, because there's a switch here and that. Well, we checked out the pool area. Now I want to make it down that way. I want to go see the softball field. Actually, the softball field, that's the last thing it was converted to. I know it used to be a mini golf course, which I don't know if we'll be able to see anything as far as the mini golf course goes. It was a mini golf course. Then they turned it into a batting cage of some sort, I think. And then the last thing what they made it into, maybe in the late 80s, early 90s, they made it into a softball field. The lights are still here. So let's go check that out next. Found some piece of metal that's still here. No idea. Wow. Looks like these things would roll. Some type of roller, but a piece of some ride. Can you imagine a huge roller coaster right here in front of us? I cannot. It's kind of hard to picture that today. But at one time, there was. In 1970, a golf driving range was constructed at the northeast end of the park. In 76, the golf driving range was converted to a lighted softball field. In the mid-70s, the swinging gyms were dismantled and sold, and the last two rides were added, the Tilt-A-Whirl and the Columbus ride. We've made our way to the old softball field. I even remember in high school, it was still kind of like a field. Now today, I mean, you can't even tell where anything is. Obviously home plate would have been right here because the gate. Just have to watch for snakes and ticks. We were at Gettysburg the other day and came out of the wheat field, and my brother and I had like 8 or 9 ticks on us. It was crazy, but this is home plate would have been right here, backstop. This light has definitely seen better days. If I was standing at home plate, this is the view I would have seen. It looks kind of like something out of a horror movie, a little bit like a zombie movie where there's no more human life and nature has just taken over. And now from this angle, if I was standing at the pitcher's mound, this is the view I would have had. And in recent years, a random tree just popped up right in the middle of the field. That's pretty crazy to see. Gotta go find my wife. She's out in the woods exploring. Now, she grew up here too. Both of us grew up in Drums, Pennsylvania. Pretty much 10 minutes from each other. It's only a matter of time that we found each other. But anyway, this is home to her as well. And I'm sure just like my parents, her parents grew up going to Angela Park as well. We've made our way to the back of the park. It looks like this was extra parking. You could still see the parking lines back here. But anyway, what I really want to show you is where I used to fish growing up. Oh, and there's, what do we got here? Fireball, bet you? Yep, told you. Fireball. Nicole, this is where I used to fish all the time. Yep. See, if you start down that way, there's a parking lot, you know, over there. If we'd start over there, we'd call that Snag City. Because no matter what you did, even if you threw a bobber on, you get snagged in the water. But yeah, I've caught a decent amount of trout. We're coming up to what looks like used to be a basketball court. You know what? When I was in high school, they had like ramps. Kids who rode bikes or skateboarded, they would build ramps and set them up all in here. And I think once upon a time, I'm pretty sure they used this park area as a police training grounds, and that's kind of when they kicked everybody out. It was posted private property for a few years, but now it's not posted at all, actually. But yeah, this would have been a basketball court, and I'm sure there would have been so many pavilions and restaurants here back in the day at the park. Basketball is my favorite sport. Play a little basketball here. Shooting the J. During the 1984 season, a serious offer to purchase the park was made by Joseph Filoromo. Along with his mother, they formed the Mirth Master Corporation, and in 1985 season, they bought Angela Park for $1.2 million. During the next 4 years, Mirth Master fell into a worsening financial condition, and by '88, the debt on the park was over $1 million. The financial strains reached a breaking point, and Mirth Master declared bankruptcy in the spring of 1989, leaving Filoromo no choice but to close the park. Despite local efforts to raise the capital to purchase the operations as well as individual interests, no buyer emerged, and Angela Park was all but finished. The official end came on an overcast Saturday in May 1990 when the bank auctioned off the park piece by piece. The antique car ride is in New Jersey Park, and several of the Dodge and bumper cars operate at Knoebels Amusement Resort in Elysburg, Pennsylvania. So as we're making this video, it is a Saturday night, and I would have to say, back in the day when this place was up and running, I don't think Saturday nights typically looked like this. I think it was filled with a lot of noise, child voices, having fun, games, restaurants, roller coaster rides, all the above. So as I was growing up, I remember walking through the woods straight ahead with my mom, and she was saying, oh, I used to love the train. The train always would go through the woods like that. And so that was where I wanted to go next. But as we're walking through here, we turn ourselves around, we could see the old train tracks. Look at that. The old train tracks. So it must have went through this way around the park, and it did go through the woods. So I'm going to follow this trail and see where exactly in the woods it goes through. And into the woods we go in search of the train tracks. Here seems to be an opening. I do remember seeing train tracks somewhere back here. I bet you I'll find it. You know, since this is like my hometown, I wonder if there's anybody who I went to high school with is going to see this video on YouTube and be like, I didn't know Nick was on YouTube, making YouTube videos. Well, yes I am. Here we are. We found some pavement. It's a square. I wonder if this was just like a pavilion over here, or maybe the entrance of some sort to another ride. Wonder what this is. Oh no, it looks like some drill of some sort, to be honest with you. Well, this tire swing definitely wasn't here back in the 70s and 80s. I think that's more recent because somebody's been having a fire here. Even going towards the exit, you could still see the parking marks. Well, everyone, that's going to wrap it up for this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you haven't, and until next time, we'll see y'all soon. Signing off from the old Angela Park here in Drums, Pennsylvania, my hometown back in the day. Anyway, we'll see y'all soon on the Travel Channel. Take care.